Yo, what's up, guys? Today I want to look at the best Charizards that every set of Sword and Shield has to offer. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, before we get into this episode, once again, I want to thank you all so much. We are closing in on 25,000 subscribers. Whether you're here from Leonhardt, from Pokerev, wherever, off the street, we love that you're here. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button. Most importantly, guys, hit the bell for notifications. We have some incredible stuff coming up here on the channel. We have some vintage lots that are being sold again, just like we did before. There's a lot of stuff happening, so definitely hit the bell so you are notified on future content and future announcements on this channel. So we're going to be looking at 4 cards here. I'm going to go in order from 4th to 1st. These are cards that I think have big upside potential when it comes to collectability and just overall profit long term, and the cards I think that are going to do the best. Number 4 on my list is going to be the hyper rare Charizard from Brilliant Stars. The raw price on this, guys, right now, and these are last sold on eBay, which is important. I think that's the authority on value for, you know, current sets, and I mean just any Pokemon product in general. That's probably where the majority of it's being sold. Raw price last sold on this card is $140. I still think that's a little bit bloated in my opinion. Or let's just talk about the card artwork. I am a huge fan of the new V-Star type of format that Pokemon's doing. I love the white. It's almost like a whitish, rainbowish border. I don't know if you guys are into that. I feel that a lot. I really like that texture on the card. The artwork for me is a little bit soft as far as Charizard's concerned, and what I mean by that is it's kind of a more cartoonish type of look. I'm not mad at it. Obviously, I grew up with a cartoon. I like my, I like my Charizard like I like my Jesus, front row at Leonard Skinner. Do you know what I'm saying? I like him to be ferocious. I want him to be just destroying the card, popping out of the card, fire blasting, doing something, okay? So that's important to me. As far as that's concerned, a little bit soft. I love how it's coming out of the card. I'm a fan of that. Other than that, that's why I placed this number 4. This might be some people's number 2 or number 1. And as far as just being able to pull this card, I had really good luck with this. I pulled this card within my first 10 packs. And again, other people may be watching this and be like, I'm 200 packs in and haven't pulled this card. That's an RNG thing. So for me personally, this was a relatively easy card for me to pull. I got very fortunate to pull it within the first couple packs. That is my number 4 pick. All right, guys, number 3 is a little bit of a layup, and that's going to be the Classic Collection Charizard from Celebrations. So this card is obviously the base set Charizard artwork that everyone knows and loves, and the raw price of this card is $81.76. So let's look at the artwork just to start out. We've all seen this artwork a million times. One variant that I would suggest looking at for this card, which I think personally did it better, is the Japanese format of this card. I think the 25th anniversary is better for the Japanese artwork. I love the sparkle on the Japanese. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen here. I own it in a PSA 10. I am a huge fan of how the Japanese artwork kind of portray the 25th anniversary as opposed to the Pikachu ears. I know that's what they did on the 20th anniversary. You know, it is what it is. But I just think that the Japanese artwork did it better. But let's look at some sales data on this. One thing that bothers me about this card is that I feel bad. I feel bad for my people that went out and bought this in a PSA 10 at $1,500. That might be a landing point for this card years down the road, because as of right now, they are kind of going off at about $300 for a PSA 10. I think that's reasonable. I still think it's a little bit bloated, and kind of like the card before, one thing I want to discuss is PSA right now, their cheapest rating level that they have is $50. So $50 is still much more expensive than what we're all used to. I used to grade cards for $6 or $7. If you just have a basic membership, you're going to be paying $100. So that is just something to consider. I think the prices are bloated for that reason. I think that this card will be fine over, long term. I feel bad for the people that bought it at $1,500, $1,400, even $1,000 right off the rip. That is one of, I've talked about this point in previous videos. You definitely want to let the card cool down when it first comes out and see where it goes. So you can kind of see where its landing point is. You see a huge slope, which you won't see in some of the other cards, and it'll be a kind of an interesting dyad to look at. But this is my number 3 pick. I think this is a fine card. I'm happy to have it. Definitely add it to the collection. I would definitely look at the Japanese artwork. I think they did it a little bit better. It's a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And as far as pulling it goes, this was one of the biggest cards that gave me the most fits for pulling it, just myself or for other people. I've only pulled 2, and I've opened probably upwards of 700 packs of Celebrations. So I don't know if that's normal, but this thing gave me absolute hell to be able to pull for myself or for someone on the channel that bought into a break. So that's my number 3 pick. Number 2 on the list, guys, is another one of those cards that absolutely destroyed me when trying to pull it. And that is the Shining Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates. This has a very, very interesting issue with this set has a very, very interesting issue, which is a common theme for a few other sets in Sword and Shield, is you can see a huge disparity. So obviously here's the Charizard, right? The next closest card is literally $120 less. So there is such a huge disparity in value when it comes to, you know, cards and the artworks, and Charizard obviously carries the load like it normally does. This artwork for me, this was a toss-up between this card and then also the same artwork but in a hyper rare rainbow format, which was featured in Champions Path, and I'll put it on the screen here. Same artwork, different format. One's shiny, one's regular VMAX. This card did it better for me as far as artwork is concerned. I think this thing pops off the cardboard. If you've ever had it, you know, in person, like in your hands, this thing absolutely pops off. Let's look at some PSA 10 data. So as you can see, this thing also had a dip, but not nearly as severe as the Celebration dip, right? So these came out of the gates at $1,000 in a PSA 10, and then they're kind of landing here in the 500. You see 500 a lot, and then last solds were about $400. I think 400 is a decently fair price for how difficult it was for me to pull this card. This Shining Fates is a big set. This card gave me fits again in pulling it. I've only pulled 3, and we've probably opened close to 1,000 packs on the channel, which is, you know, pretty crazy if you think about it. I'm not saying that every card should be easy to pull, but it took us well over 500 packs, and then they started to pop off a little bit. But that's right back to that RNG factor. This card was so difficult for me to pull. So yeah, guys, for all of those reasons, this is my number 2 pick on this top 4. So last but not least, guys, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it a million times. This card is going to do so well long term, and you already know the one I'm going to talk about because you probably feel the same way, and that is the Charizard V alternate art from Brilliant Stars. So as you can see, guys, right here, this is a $197 card. That's raw. Obviously, this card is brand new, so, you know, there might be some cooling off, but I don't know how much cooling off might happen. The sales data, again, is also so brand new. This one, at its high point, was $900, but I think it went down to a very reasonable $600 to $700. It might dip further than that, so maybe just take a look. For me, this card was probably one of the easier ones to pull, maybe middle of the road, I would say. I've pulled it maybe 4 or 5 times. The set, and the reason why is Brilliant Stars isn't nearly the size set as, you know, Shining Fates will say. But that's not what allures me about this card. What really gets me, guys, is the artwork. This artwork is so freaking beautiful, in my opinion. And many people might, you know, disagree, or they might have different opinions. This artwork is awesome. And what's cool about this artwork is not that it's all Charizard. It's not like Charizard is literally taking over the entire card. You actually have, you know, Venusaur as one of, you know, as the co-star in this artwork, and he's kind of getting more face time, right? You're just kind of seeing Charizard about to attack. That's what I love about this card. It is like an action type of card. It looks like they're fighting over some kind of forest, but volcano. Maybe like Charizard just lit the whole place on fire, and Venusaur's coming in for the Vine Whip. I'm a huge fan of this artwork. I'm a huge fan of this card. I am a believer. I think this card is going to do so well long term. We're going to look back at this card 5 to 10 years from now and be like, man, I wish I would have picked up a few when they were like $100. It might be a bargain. I'm just saying that now. I may be proved wrong. Maybe they're going to, you know, print Brilliant Stars into absolute nuclear oblivion, and these cards will be, you know, I don't know, just thrown on the corner for everyone to grab. I'm just saying, as far as the artwork's concerned and just how I personally feel about this card, there's something about this card that grabs me, and that rarely happens even with a whole library of, you know, sets within, like, you know, Brilliant Stars or Sun and Moon. I think these Charizards absolutely wrecked Sun and Moon's artworks for Charizards. They nailed it with these, and this card is literally the pinnacle. It's not just an example, it's the standard as far as I'm concerned for what future artwork should look like and what they can do and how much depth that they can give within a card. So that's it, guys. That's my #1 pick for Sword and Shield. I'm sure some of these were a no-brainer, but that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you're enjoying the content, and if you are, click the button down below. Join the journey. We're almost at 25K subs. I'm going to see you guys on the next episode. Peace out. Yo, what's up, guys? If you want to see a video that I think that you might like after watching what you just watched, click the button right here. And if you want to be one of those people that want to subscribe to the channel and see how far this rabbit hole goes, the button's right here. Do it!